Ramirez, your host of Stand Out and Grow. I want to help your business stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. Building your business is really, really hard. And knowing what marketing and advertising tools you need to help you become successful is extremely confusing. After 30 years of working with thousands of businesses, I am here to help you make good business decisions. I want to help you understand the programs that are available to you so that you can stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. So let's get started. Hey there, this is Kat Ramirez. I am CEO and founder of adBidtise and #SocialBuzz. Woo! I am back. So I have been probably MIA for a couple weeks and trying to get some stuff done. And I'm back, and I thought about okay, now I got to get back on the saddle and ride this baby and be consistent because I have missed a lot of broadcasts. So I put in the notes, and I picked this topic because I've had some conversations with some people, and I picked this topic because I had someone try to sell me in the last 2 weeks. And it was interesting because they set up the meeting with me because they had connected with me somewhere, whether it was on social media. So it was either LinkedIn or Facebook. I am not sure to be exact, but regardless, okay? So they connected with me and they set up the meeting. And in the meeting notes, I put in my Calendly, like, hey, tell me what you have problems with. What do you want to talk about? So that I know what the conversation I want to have with the person so that we don't waste each other's time, right? That's the most respectable thing to do. And so I put on there, let me know what you want to talk about and what it is you want to accomplish so we can accomplish these things. And so this is the result of why I picked the topic that I picked today, okay? So I'm talking about sales, and I'm talking about, okay, we are in a very unique situation where a lot of us are working from home, and a lot of us are still working from home, but we are also cold calling and networking and creating business opportunities in a very unique way. So what does that mean? We're not networking. Some of us are so used to being out and about and networking and giving out those business cards. It's funny, business cards. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, damn it, I just ordered 2 big old boxes of big business cards right before the pandemic. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with those business cards now. Maybe I'll go put them in mailboxes. I don't know. Because I'm like, I haven't been networking. And we're in the 7th month, right? So we're in the 7th month and I haven't been networking. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those business cards. But anyways, okay, so back to the topic. I'm sorry to divert and tell you all this other stuff that's going on. But the other thing to understand and know is we're in COVID. So we are doing things differently, right? We are talking to people differently. We are setting up appointments differently. So we're doing things differently. Now, when we're setting up our appointments and making our calls, we might be setting up virtual calls. So like a Zoom call or a Skype call or Blue Jeans. There's a lot of different virtual type of calls. And I wanted to mention a few because there's more than just Zoom. There's also the WebEx, so Join Me, the TeamViewer, Microsoft has one. There's so many. Okay, so whatever one you choose, it doesn't matter. So that's a virtual one where you can see each other. And some people choose not to turn on their camera. And that's okay. You can't demand people to turn on the camera. And then there's good old-fashioned phone calls. And I get some of those too, because my first go-to is to have a Zoom call because I want to know who I'm talking to. And I would like them to know who they're talking to so they get to know me, right? And so that's my go-to. But if they don't want to have a Zoom call for whatever reason, then of course we're going to have a phone call. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that we need to be aware of and tune in now with COVID, and you're having these calls, because I ran into some of this stuff. And so what better way to share those with you so that you don't make those mistakes and I don't make those mistakes. And, you know, and if we know, if you're a team leader, your team's not making these mistakes. So these are really, really good things to point out. And I think sometimes we forget about it, or we're just so nervous because this is so new and it's so different. So sometimes we just forget, or we're not really tuned in to, you know, what's going on and what have you. But before I dig into all of this, I need to say a couple hellos from people that have already commented or are watching, and I appreciate it. And so Dan, thank you. He says, who is this? I'm Kat Ramirez. What do you mean, who is this? I'm Kat Ramirez. Clearly you don't know me. And then, of course, my gracious mother says, hello, gorgeous. Hello, Mom. She's my biggest fan, by the way. Okay. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, drop me a line. Laura says hello. Hello, Laura. Thanks for watching. Drop me a line and let me know what your questions are. But I just want to touch on some of the things that you probably shouldn't be doing if you're making sales calls now while we have COVID. And again, you're probably doing this either on the phone when you're talking to someone, or, hey, Tony, thanks for joining in. Thanks for saying hi. So either you're doing it on the phone or you're doing it via Zoom. So these are, again, really good things to be aware of that I have encountered. And I thought, oh my God, is this person really for real? Are they seriously for real? So let me use the one situation that I'm talking about, where the one person set up this call with me, and it was an actual Zoom call. Okay. And I love Zoom calls, because here's the reality is, especially for salespeople, is you have to listen with your ears. But now with COVID, you have to listen with your eyes and ears. You have to be so tuned in. You have to make sure you're aware of what the other person is doing and how are they reacting to your conversation or your dialogue or any statements that you might say, anything like that. You have to be so tuned in like there's no tomorrow, okay? And so let's use the example of the person who called on me. And I thought it was one where they were interested in my goods and services, and coincidentally, no, they were not. And so they were trying to sell me on their product, brand, or service. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. But yes, I said, but they should be asking the right questions in order to go down that road. You cannot just switch and bait someone and do that and expect that they're going to be like receptive to this, switch and bait kind of, treatment or whatever you call it, mentality of selling you. Okay. So we started the Zoom call, and I think how we started it was I introduced myself and I said who I was and what I represented. And then they were talking, and so they introduced themselves and kind of gave a little bit of background of theirs. Okay. So that was the intro. Okay. And then there was a question of, I think they asked, what did I do? And then I mentioned like, we do social media. We help businesses and, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then they, without asking me, okay, so here was a blaring thing. They never set themselves up for success. They did not set themselves up for success. So they asked, I don't want to say he or she, because if they're watching, I don't want them to feel like I'm picking on them when I really am. But they should have set me up for a close or a next step or something like that. So setting up your client for that next step. What does that mean? That means asking the right questions. Asking the questions that are going to lead into the solution that you have for somebody's problem, okay? Because if you can't solve a problem, you're not going to find any results with this call, okay? So remember this, you got to solve a problem the person in front of you has, and you got to ask the right questions to solve that problem, or at least to understand that they do have that problem, okay? So they did not ask the right questions, okay? Because what they did, in all honesty, was after they did the small chit chat, hey, hi, my name, your name, what do you do? After the small chit chat, they went right into pitching me their product, goods, or services. They went straight into that. Okay, if you're watching and you don't understand what I'm saying, I'm telling you that they had no regard for if I had a need for their products, goods, or services, okay? If they identified that I had a need for their products, goods, or services, or even if I stated that I had a need for their product, good, or services. They did not search for those answers. All they wanted to do was, it was all about them, and they wanted to make sure that they pitched me their products, goods, or services, regardless if I needed their goods or services at all. So here's what I'm going to say against that. That is the wrong way to sell. It is absolutely, hands down, I would never do that. Never. You are a salesperson then. You are kind of like the used car sell lot kind of guy, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to fulfill an obligation to hear yourself. That's it. You're trying to fulfill an obligation to hear yourself, and you think that's going to get you the sell, and it's not. I'm telling you, it's totally not. Because the right way to do it is to ask enough questions of the other person, let them do all the talking, and you listen. And you're listening for those key buying signs. Now, in my comment, in my blurb, I said in there, because we're on the phone now and we're not doing face-to-face, like real face-to-face meetings, so we're either on the phone talking to people, you can hear tone, you can hear buying signs, and you can also hear non-buying signs. So you have to be totally tuned in. So if you're on the phone and you're talking to someone, you need to be totally tuned in. Listen, oops, sorry, that's my dog. Hey, that's my dog, sorry about that. You need to totally be tuned in on buying signs, or they're not interested. Because if they're not interested, segue in the call, just don't kill them with all this dialogue. Do not kill them with a lot of dialogue, okay? So that's the phone. We are now on Zoom. We are now on Blue Jeans, on WebEx, and all of these other virtual things. So here's what I feel like, because I know I gave that person buying signs that I was not interested, because they were talking on and on and on about themselves, like on and on about their product and how great it was and what it could do. And they kept talking on and on and on. And I know I had this dazed look, like, yeah, that was the look. Did you see that? That was the look. I had it on Zoom that I was just like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And I literally did want to go like this, like, oh, this is so painful. And it was painful. It was literally painful. So if you're that person, if you're doing that, if you are not qualifying your prospect when you're on either the phone call or Zoom, if you're not qualifying them before you get into your pitch, you are going to kill that person. You're going to exhaust that person, and they're going to have a very horrible feeling from that call, or have a bad taste in their mouth, because you've exhausted them. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't have a need for it. And that was the situation that I was in. Is I sat through this conversation. They were telling me about their product and the problem it solved. And basically what their program did was offer a lot of leads, a lot of traffic for somebody who is looking to grow their business. And I never once did I say, oh, hey, I am hurting for leads, or I really need a lot of traffic, anything like that. And so because their product was kind of like a business listing, so it was kind of a lead generation. Don't assume everybody has that pain or everybody needs that. And that's what I feel like they assumed. They made a lot of assumptions. They went right into the pitch, and then the pitch took a long time. And I had to endure it. And I know that I had this look because I am an open book. I'm sure I've had that gaze look like, when is this going to be over with? And I was exhausted because all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, I need to get ready for this next meeting. Or, oh my God. So they had already lost me. So again, if you're that person and you sell like that, where you're not priming the person, you're not asking the right questions to understand and know if you're even solving a problem that they need solved, then you're going to have that person who tunes you out. They're going to tune you out, and then they're going to appease you at the end, and they're going to say, oh yeah, sure, follow up with me, sure. And it's not going to be legitimate. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is you have to be so tuned in because of COVID. And we're having these phone conversations now where you can hear people's voices. You can hear them. You can hear the inflection. And you've got to be tuned in. You've got to understand, are they interested? Are they tuned in? Are they really, interested in my product, good, or services? Or are you talking way too much and they have no, they can't escape, or interject one word to say, hey, yeah, this is probably not a good fit for me. That you don't offer them the opportunity to interject on about your product, goods, or services. Or they could be like, at the end of this conversation with this particular person, they asked me, they said, so what do you think about our product? And at that point, I had to sit through half an hour of their pitch, and I was like, oh, it sounds pretty good. It sounds like a business listing. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Good for you guys. That's going to be a really great product for someone who doesn't feel like they have enough business, and so I'm trying to give him signs that this is probably not a good fit for me, and the other thing too that was about this product, and without trying to give away who this person was or who was trying to pitch me, was it was very segmented to a particular location, so it was very, very niche. And, in my eyes, I don't want to be niche. I don't want to be in one zip code. That's not how I'm going to grow my business. And so that platform was about, hey, you're going to be number one in this area, and that's going to be your market, and everybody's going to come to you, and, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not really interested in that. And they should have asked me, hey, do you want to be the number one marketing company in your zip code? Oh, awesome, Kat. That's called prospecting. That's called priming your client to know if you're going to solve their problem. That's what you're supposed to do. And then if you ask enough questions where you lead into your product and they're saying enough buying signs of, yeah, that's me. Yes, that's what I want. Oh my God, that's exactly what I want. Then you're going to go down the right path. Otherwise, you're going to go down this rabbit hole of like a wasted time and energy, or the person just feels like you've wasted and exhausted them because they weren't really interested and they were being very, very polite. And some people aren't very, very polite like me, but I was very, very polite, and I listened to their pitch. And then I was kind enough at the end when they asked me, hey, what do you think? I was, again, polite. And then I think they did follow up with me. I can't remember. They followed up with me with the link so I can go check it out. And I haven't yet because I'm really busy, but maybe I will. But I'm really, really busy. So if I was really, really interested, don't you think I would have checked it out by now? Trying to save you some time so you don't spin your wheels. So that is the whole point of this conversation is with COVID, you have to listen. You have to listen more, and you have to really be tuned in. You have to tune in to tone. You got to tune into appearances and how they receive your information. If you get cross-eyed, that means that you've lost them, or you didn't ask the right qualifying questions to lead into you explaining how your product, good, or service is going to solve their problem. And so that's my song and dance today. That's what I wanted to help you with. That's what I led with. Let me make sure I covered everything in the notes and the posts. And yes, so difficult, Zoom, listen, buying signs, prime your client by asking them the questions to qualify them. Even on the Zoom, even on the phone call, qualify them before you really dig at pitching them, because a sales call, discovery call is all about listening. It's about listening. It's totally about listening and understanding your prospects' problems and then aligning that with the solution that you have. And that's a big win. That's when you would have a home run and I would like high five you. Boom, you got this. So that's it. That's what I got today. So I hope this was beneficial to you. If so, please drop me a line. Let me know. If you have any questions, drop me a line. Let me know. If you know someone who can benefit from this little podcast, then tag them and share it with them. Because, you can't train enough on sales tactics. Like that should be a refresher all the time, over and over and over. And especially if we're in different situations during different times, and we are in a different situation today. And so, again, body language, got to be tuned in, and you got to be very aware of who you're talking to. And don't just focus on the message that you're trying to deliver. Focus on, are they receiving it? Are they responding? Are they giving me those buying signs? Or am I just talking just to hear myself because I feel like if I talk enough, they'll buy this. And that's not going to happen. I promise you. I've been doing this way too long that the talking part doesn't work unless you just talk them to death. And I'm looking for my branding, sorry. As I always end this, you guys, you got this. And until next time, I will see you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Stand Out and Grow. Check out all the notes and links at www.standoutandgrow.com. I am so thankful to you for helping this show continue to grow. I want to keep producing content that you want to hear, so please leave me some feedback. I look forward to bringing you more resources and information to help your business stand out and grow. Please follow us on social media and make sure you follow this podcast so you can learn more about helping your business stand out, survive, succeed, and grow. Until next time, you got this. adBidtise helps businesses stand out and grow with affordable advertising options. We will help you make good business decisions so you can save money and not just throw it against the wall to see if it sticks. Get your free strategic advertising analysis today so you can see the opportunities to stand out and grow your business. Visit www.standoutandgrow.com offers page to learn more.